This video today is going to cover installing PANRServ and imacx, both tools needed to integrate Milestone with Pure Access Cloud. First, we need to download these files listed here. They are available at isonas.com, and then go to Support, and then Software Downloads, and then these Milestone integration downloads are available at the bottom of that page. They should also get moved over to our Legion portal at some time soon. Now, this installer includes 3 files: the PANRServ 4.0 installer, the imacx setup tool, and the imacx plugin tool, which is actually a plugin that gets thrown into Milestone. Now, the first thing we're going to install is the PANRServ 4.0 installer. We're going to go ahead and click on the installer tool here. And the first screen, we'll click Next. We'll go ahead and just leave all the defaults there because that's what the system's looking for when everything's running. Go ahead and just click Next on the next screen, and then Next to finish installing the tool. Only takes a few moments here. Then we'll click Close and then move on to the next. Now we'll install the second tool, which is imacx. This tool enables Pure Access Cloud to talk all the way through to Milestone. Going to wait on the installer launch here. At the very first screen, we'll click I agree. And then the next screen, we'll go ahead and just leave the defaults and then click Next. Leave the default install file, click Install. It'll go through and finish installing those files. Then we'll get a pop-up asking if it wants to install the service. We will click OK. And then hit Close. The last component we're going to install is the imacx plugin tool, which is a component that gets installed in Milestone. First screen, we're going to click I agree. Then we're going to click Install with the default selected. It'll say the service is running. We'll choose Yes to stop it. If we do get a pop-up, we'll go ahead and click Ignore, and then it'll continue installing. It'll ask you if you want to restart the service. We will choose Yes. And we'll click OK, and then Close. Before we can move on to configuring PANRServ, we first must create an API token. So here in Pure Access Cloud, we're going to go to Settings. Then we're going to go over to API token. And then we're going to go over to the green plus sign, click on it, and then we're going to click on Create API Token. First step in creating an API token, we're going to give it a name. We're going to call it Milestone. Then the dropdown, we're going to choose PANRServ. And we're going to copy our token ID and token values and put them somewhere safe. Click Read Only, and then click Create. And then we can move on to the rest of the configuration. Before we get to configuring PANRServ, I just want to cover what it does. It is an application that enables you to communicate between the Pure Access API and the imacx tool, which is the second half of this. Now, to get started in configuring PANRServ, we're going to click on the blue globe icon on the desktop for PANRServ. This will pull up the configuration tool. It'll open to a log status screen. We're going to go ahead and click on the configuration tab up top. And then the Pure Access tab up at the top, we're going to copy in the token ID that we got from Pure Access Cloud. And then we're going to copy in the token value into the password field that we got from Pure Access Cloud as well. You can click the password box to show the password. Then once we have those copied in, we'll move into the basic input field. We're just going to double check these. You can leave these at the default settings. The default is user admin and a password. The server connection screen, you can leave this alone if you're installing this all on the same server as Milestone. Then you'll click Save. And you can go back to log status screen. You should see a received and success message that indicates that the tool should be talking to Pure Access Cloud. Next, we're going to dig into imacx. imacx acts as a communication platform that goes between PANRServ and Milestone and functions as a translation tool between those two applications. Now we're going to go ahead and launch imacx from the desktop on the computer. And then when Milestone first launches, it does take a few moments to get the service running. It'll just be a blank screen for a moment. We'll go ahead and time skip to when we do start seeing data populate. And eventually, imacx starts to reach out to Milestone, which is not currently running. So next, we are going to go ahead and get Milestone Management Server up and running. So it's trying to talk back to imacx. So we're going to go ahead and open up the Milestone XProtect Management Client tool. It will pop up to a login screen. This login information is whatever the user initially set up when they installed Milestone. We'll go ahead and click connect once everything is correct. Go ahead and choose allow on this pop-up if it gives it, since everything is installed on the same server. And then we'll go ahead and wait on the client to load. Once the client has loaded, it might get a license notification. We'll just click OK on it. Now we're going to go ahead and go into site navigation. We will click on access control. Then we'll right click on access control in the center column, and then we'll create new to set up a new integration. We're going to go ahead and name this integration PANRServ. And then we got to choose our plugin. The plugin is mxpb_acm. This is the plugin that we actually installed earlier. Go ahead and select that. Then it's going to go ahead and populate all this data. By default, we'll just leave the default since everything is, again, installed on the same server. Then we'll go ahead and click Next. And then at this point, Milestone is going to start reaching out to PANRServ through those other two tools to pull in all the configuration data from users to access points. And if we hop over to imacx, we can see this data going back and forth in the logs. And once it does fully load, we'll actually see the doors and units and servers and events and commands and states load into PANRServ. So here we see the doors, the units, servers, the event types, the commands that can go back and forth between the two, and the states of the access points themselves. Go ahead and click Next. And then this is the Associates camera screen. This is where you can actually link the access points from PANRServ to the cameras in Milestone. And once the user sets that up, then they'll just click Next, and then we'll close. And now we can hop over and check imacx. If we are running into any issues, we'll need to check this basic configuration screen to make sure that the settings match what's in PANRServ. Do need to double check the deep link. The deep link should always be https://isonaspuraccesscloud.com/tenant name. Once everything is correct, we are going to go ahead and click Save. At this point, everything should pretty much be done. Just always remember to always leave both PANRServ and imacx running so that Milestone can communicate back and forth with PANRServ. To cover the flow of data between the two applications, PANRServ talks to PANRServ via the API. PANRServ converts that data to imacx understandable data, which in turn communicates that out to Milestone. If you do have any other issues, please contact product support.